There now follows an electoral broadcast by the PDP.
Good evening. Tonight is the leaders' debate. I will not be there because, as you know, I have been excluded from that debate. All we wanted was to be heard so that we could properly communicate our ideas to you at a crucial time in the election. Instead, I am unable to do so in the way that you would expect, so that you can judge our ideas against the others in this election. The loser is democracy. Many people, irrespective of party allegiance, thought our exclusion was wrong. We were looking forward to participating in that debate, and surely no one should be afraid of our participation. I suppose what I find most disappointing in all this is that the only party that refused to support our request for attendance was the GSD, of which I formed part and worked so hard within for so many years. Ultimately, you will have the opportunity tomorrow to decide how to vote, and I ask that you take into account this episode when you cast your vote. Let the ballot box be the verdict of democracy. You can send a real message that you support our efforts to be heard by voting for us tomorrow. Throughout this campaign, we have tried very hard to put forward our positive and imaginative vision for Gibraltar. Our manifesto explains our policies from health to housing, the environment to social services, traffic, the elderly and our young people. All those are important issues to be dealt with more radically. We have fought a constructive campaign because this election should be a contest of ideas. I have made clear that we are against the culture of personalities and culture of acrimony that sometimes engulfs other politicians. We are against dirty tricks and mudslinging. We are against the politics of arrogance and destruction. That attitude provokes negative and tribal politics. The attitude of some politicians is that you are either with me or against me. There is little room for flexibility, compromise, or simply to really listen to people. I reject all that, but I wonder how much of that you will see tonight in the leaders' debate. Remember that the only party who offers something completely different is the PDP. We want to instill a sense of inclusion of people so that we govern Gibraltar for all our people and not just for some of the people. Our style of politics and governance will be entirely different. I know we can deliver because we are committed to do so, but we cannot do it without your help. Many people are thinking of voting negatively in this election, not for a party that you want, but rather to keep out someone you do not want. I ask you to think about the consequences of that, and instead to vote in a positive way. The consequences of voting negatively is that you may get your wish and manage to keep either Mr. Bolzano or Mr. Caruana out of office, but you will wake up to a government on the 12th of October, the policies of which you do not actually favour. That will send many people spiralling into a tremendous sense of immediate disenchantment with the way that we are being governed and the policies that are being carried out in your name. I know many people want to change, but there is concern about how to achieve that. In the same way that there is a desire for a real change, I also notice an equal desire that we should not return to the ugly past we all rejected. There are people who feel so desperate for change that they are willing to back the alliance and take a gamble, whether as presently structured it leads to a return to the past. There are other people who want change but will vote for the GSD simply to keep the GSLP out, knowing, however, that that will not guarantee a real change and that the social needs of our community will not be given the necessary priority. I ask you to resist the temptation to vote negatively. Vote positively in this election. If you want change but do not want to return to the past, the only way to guarantee it is to vote PDP. If you want a government that listens and consults, vote for us. If you want to end the destructive politics of the past, the endemic divisions in Gibraltar, vote for us. One of the things that worries me most is the prospect of a heavily divided Gibraltar. Again, if you want voices of reason, balance and a measured approach to politics, vote for us, and vote for us now. Do not wait till the next time, to the next election. We aspire to achieve the maximum influence now, and the only way we can really defend and protect your interests is to do so from within the Parliament. To do that, we need your help. We all know the electoral panorama is going to change radically in the next 4 years, with the departure of Mr. Bossano or Mr. Caruana from the political stage. That will deliver an entirely new electoral dynamics for Gibraltar. This election is therefore not only important for the present, but also for the future of our community. We aspire to form part of government now, but if you decide that our role should be different, we will accept that and work hard for the future, because we firmly believe that the combination of the new electoral dynamics, the fact that we will present a strong and full candidature at the next election, and our programme will make us the strongest and most viable option for government. If you want us to have a role in government now, then vote for us. If you want us to have a role in the future, then that is also a good reason to vote for us now. We will build for the future, but to do that we need your support. Don't just hope for change, make it happen. Don't just hope for positive politics. Support us and make it happen. We can make a real difference now. We ask you to support all our candidates in this election. We recognise, however, that there will be people who intend to primarily vote for the GSD or GSLP. I ask that you remember that in this election you have 10 votes, not 8. We can all count, and we know that in the new House of Assembly a party only needs 9 seats to have an absolute majority. As you now have 10 votes, if you have decided to vote for another party, then at least give us that 1 extra vote. That way we can make a real change and make a real difference. We can then build on that voice for the future. We will not be able to be ignored. We can be a positive change for accountability, for democracy, for balance in a divided Gibraltar. We can be the constructive voice advocating a new, more balanced way of doing things as we go forward. Some people, for their own political ends, want to preserve the politics of the past, so they say that nothing short of a solid bloc vote works. But those people do not advocate real democracy in their programme. We have explained precisely how we want to change our electoral system. None of the other parties have that lasting commitment. Against our detailed and considered 27-point plan, we have a couple of skimpy paragraphs from the others. That in itself tells you a story. Things will not change unless you support us. We must all be brave. Many of you like our programme. Many of you urge us on to continue with our hard work. We are committed to doing so. We will fight this election and then fight on harder to the next election. But in the same way as we are committed to deliver that real and lasting change, you must be brave too. Support us and support us now. Support us. Support all our candidates, and if you feel that you cannot support all our candidates on this occasion, at the very least give us that 1 vote so that we can obtain a voice in the Parliament that speaks for you and your families and cannot be ignored. If you want us to be there, vote for us. If you want us to have a role now, vote for us. If you want us to have a role in the future, vote for us. One by one, every vote counts, and collectively we can all ensure that we break the politics of the past in a way that creates that positive roller coaster of ideas for the future. On the 12th of October, I want to wake up to a positive future, to a positive Gibraltar, one where there is a climate of confidence, constructive politics and social progress. If you want that change, support us tomorrow. Thank you for listening, and good night.
That was an electoral broadcast by the PDP.